Yo, what's up guys? I'm Grandmaster Shaymin and welcome back to another episode of Wolf Tales. In the last episode, we hit this motherfucker with the truck. If you don't know what I'm talking about, well, you gotta go back and watch that episode because it was a banger. We talked about banging. We didn't actually. That was a few episodes ago. Anyway. So, we're back. We're back nonetheless. If you guys are hyped, make sure you click that like button down below for me because you already know your support's greatly appreciated. Subscribe and leave a comment. Abby-chan, what? How did you talk later? I hit him pretty hard, but I don't think it'll be enough to kill that bastard. As if responding to my words, I could feel a presence manifest behind me. Shit, I swing my axe, and unfortunately my luck appears to have run out. Ooh, human filth! My axe strikes the wolf in what I assume to be his ribcage. Unfortunately, my attack only serves to enrage the beast. We hit this dude with an axe, and it just took it? Damn! Oh, God. You hit him with a truck, then hit him with an axe, and it's not done anything. Oh, my God. The next moment, he swipes his mighty claws sideways, ripping the axe from my hands. Before I can do so much as reach for my weapon, the wolf pounces on me, pinning me to the ground. Die, human! My eyes widen as the wolf raises its claw. Pinned to the ground with no hope of escape, I watch in terror as the lumbering, razor-sharp appendage is swung down. With more weight and precision behind it than I would dare to imagine, time appears to slow to a halt as death beckons me all too soon. Get away from my mate! God, stupid little, come here! Princess, you'll pay for that, traitor! The moment I resigned myself to death, I opened my eyes to see the unbelievable sight. Despite the difference in their size and sheer hopelessness of the situation, I'm getting goosebumps actually, I'm not gonna lie to you. Minari and Fuyu are desperately fighting off the alpha male. You girls, what are you doing? You should have taken the opportunity to run away. And leave you here to die over my dead body. That's exactly my point. We're outmatched, there's no way we can win. But if you two had fled, you could have at least saved yourself. You're one to talk. Why did you come here? You should have just stayed in your cabin and treated that girl. Why did you come and meddle in our affairs? Why? I rise to my feet, grabbing my axe as I do. Isn't it obvious? I came to save my mate. Thunk. The human again! Die, you miserable piece of whack! Grrr! With the two wolf girls holding our opponent back, I land two clear, heavy blows right to the alpha male's head. It isn't enough to knock him unconscious, but for the first time since the girl engaged him, he appears to be weakening. Unfortunately, his strength is still too much for the girls to bear. The two of them are tossed about as though they are weightless, using all of their strength to merely hold off the wolf's limbs as he moves about. Pain spreads on the girls' faces. They won't last much longer. You bastard! Take your hands off of her! You worthless! I strike the wolf again and again, ignoring every warning my body gives me as I push myself beyond my limits. My axe splinters, but remains in one piece. Even as it collides with the wolf's thick skull, it somehow avoids destruction. Only good for one more strike. I raise my axe over my head and put an end to this fight once and for all. Not so tough now, are ya? Barely able to stand, I limp over to the unconscious wolf's raged body. Wielding half a wooden axe, which is now only good for stabbing prey with the broken end, I bring my weapon to the wolf's face. Abby-chan, stop! Please, that's enough. The princess is right. Abby-chan, lower your weapon. The pack will take care of the rest. Turning to face the girls, I regrettably drop my weapon. Even if I wanted to finish our opponent off, the truth is I don't have the strength. Abby-chan, I can't believe you. How could you follow us here, even knowing what dangers might await? Be it the loss of blood, my overwhelming exhaustion, or a rare chink in the wall around my heart, I respond thusly. How could I not come to save when my mate was in danger? What are you? It is true that I said something like that, maybe in the heat of the moment, but you're the one, Fuyu. I told you that already. Fuyu's face turns bright red as I make her remember the night she came to me. Just for that, you came out here in search of me? You fought that monster? You put your life in danger? How could you do something so reckless and stupid for a reason like that? It's because I love you! Fuyu makes her way over to my side and immediately punches me in the chest. Idiot! You stupid, stupid human! I can't believe you! What kind of fool would do a thing like that for someone like me? You're so... Fuyu grasps the front of my shirt and begins quietly sobbing into my shoulder. Idiot! I hate you so much! I know, Fuyu. I know. Enduring Fuyu's dishonesty, I wrap my arms around her. No matter what she says, it's clear that above all, what Fuyu feels is relief. Together, we have fought and won. No amount of sass is going to change that. While their pack carts off the alpha male, Minari, Fuyu, and I take our leave. We slowly trudge through the snow, heading back to my cabin with clear exhaustion and relief painted on our faces. Finally, it's over. I mean, we only lost a fucking truck and our axe. Like, that's... We kind of need those, don't we? When we return to our cabin, Midori takes it upon herself to nurse her injured friend. She tells the injured girl of everything that happened, including the many embarrassing things that were said. Thankfully, by the time she gets to that part, I've already left the room. And so has Fuyu. So here we are again. I'm gonna ask this once, just to make sure, but are you really okay with this? I wouldn't be here if I wasn't. Stupid Abi-chan. Fuyu tries her best not to smile as she nervously walks over to my bed. Despite her words, I can see Fuyu's tail wagging as she walks, and the lingering thread of a smile attempting to form on her lips. Fuyu, I know this is hard for you, but you don't need to keep your guard raised around me anymore. There's no way, that's no way to enter into a relationship. What are you talking about? Who would want to enter a relationship with you? You do, Fuyu. The moment you said the word relationship, your tail started wagging like crazy, and you finally broke out into a smile. No, that was a mistake. My body, is honest. Chuckling to myself, I sit beside Fuyu. Fuyu, I have no intention of forcing you to do anything. If you can say to me honestly that you have no desire to go any further than this, then I won't press the matter, but I wrap my arm around Fuyu's waist, causing her to jump in fright. Despite her anxiety, however, Fuyu does not pull away from me. Fuyu, when you screamed at the wolf earlier, telling him to get away from my mate, I was, overjoyed. Not only that, you immediately thrust yourself into danger, trying desperately to keep him away from me. Your words may be harsh sometimes, Fuyu, but I can see how deeply you care for others, and of course, if you'll still take me, I would very much like to be one of those loved ones whom you hold dear. You're reading too much into this. I was just trying to protect the princess, that's all. When I called you my mate, I wasn't thinking straight. It was in the heat of the moment, and, was it really? Fuyu let out a faint whimper as I draw my face closer to hers. Blushing furiously, she casts her gaze downward, desperate to avoid making eye contact. Fuyu, when I was speaking to your injured friend earlier, she told me that she was overwhelmed the moment she walked into this cabin. Apparently, either you or Midori has been exerting pheromones like crazy. Do you know anything about that? Further lowering her head, Fuyu hides her face the best she can. How would I know about something like that? I can't smell any stupid pheromones. Really? Yes, really? I see. I let out a sigh, after which a smile immediately forms on my face. If you can't smell them, then they must be yours after all, Fuyu. What? Fuyu raises her face, unveiling to me an expression of utter shock. How could that be possible? Why would I be releasing pheromone? Fuyu lets out a cute yelp as I place my hand on her thigh. Oh, she's so cute. Give up the act, Fuyu. You can't deceive your mate. There you go again, calling yourself my mate so brazenly. You started it, Fuyu. You did start it. That's true. It was only for a short while, but for a moment there, you finally showed me your honest side. Now, would you show it to me one more time? I place my free hand on Fuyu's face and guide her towards me, making her look me in the eye once more. I like you, Fuyu. I think that we have a lot in common despite our different upbringings. You, who defends your heart desperately, and me, a girl who was once abandoned by everyone and everything she holds dear. Maybe it's because we both have taken similar paths in life, but I feel like, in the short time we've been together, we've grown closer than I thought I'd ever become with someone ever again. Still holding Fuyu's cheek to my hand, I slowly bring my face closer to hers. Fuyu, I want to stay with you, whether it's here in the cabin, back in your den, or anywhere else. But At the same time, I have no intention of living with someone who doesn't return my feelings, so I'm leaving the choice up to you. If you're willing to take a chance on me and open your heart for once, then I will do the same. If not, all you have to do is leave, and I won't pursue this matter any further. Fuyu remains silent for a while, neither speaking nor getting up to leave. She sits in one spot, unmoving, staring into my eyes. Seeing this, I don't try to rush her. It's an important decision, and it's one that people like us can make. It isn't one that people like us can make easily. Whatever conclusion she comes to, I will honor it. Abby-chan, I like you too. You do? Mm-hmm. I don't know about, cooking or cleaning or any of that stuff the princess has learned, but if you're sure about this, about me, then I bring my face closer and plant a short, soft kiss on Fuyu's cheek. I'm sure. Then Fuyu goes to turn away, but stops herself. As hard as this is for her, she tries her best to continue making eye contact with me. Abby-chan, like I said, I don't really know about this stuff, so if you would, yeah, I understand. Leave it all to me. What is wait, okay. What kind of font is that? It ends with 3 V's, right? OX. What character is that supposed to be? Gosh, she's so cute. Look at her little face. She's freaking laughing. Kissing Fuyu once more, this time on the lips, I gently lower her body onto the bed. Positioning myself above her, I kiss her over and over again, taking my time as Fuyu gradually adjusts herself to the situation. No matter how long I wait, however, Fuyu's heart rate does not slow down, and neither does mine. Fuyu, tell me if I'm going too fast or if I hurt you or anything, okay? I've never done this before either, so I might take a few mistakes. Hearing my confession, a look of joy appears on Fuyu's face. Knowing that this is my first time too, Fuyu is finally able to calm down, if only slightly. Wait. I thought we did this before. So this is our second time, right? Right? Or did we just, help her get off? I'm confused. Yeah, I understand. Just be gentle, okay? Without saying a word, I nod my head and then kiss Fuyu on the lips one more time. God, she's so cute. Mutually confirming our feelings for one another, we fall back onto the bed in a passionate embrace. We spend the night together, lost in each other. Is that it? In the time since Fuyu and I first became intimate, our daily lives had undergone a number of drastic changes. With the blessing of the new pack leader Merari, as well as Fuyu's parents, I was officially recognized as a new member of the pack. True to Fuyu's words, the human aspect of myself was more difficult for them to accept than us being both women. But through making myself useful and Fuyu advocating for me, the novelty of being a human in a pack soon wore off, and I was integrated fully. And soon after, I was given an important duty along with Fuyu. Oh my goodness, mature Fuyu is so cute! To take care of the pack's cubs. Oh, look at the little girl, look at her! Look at her face! Oh my goodness, mature Fuyu is so cute, look at her. God, I love the ribbon. It just adds to her kind of elegant persona. Hey, there's no need for that. Look, there's plenty for everyone, okay? Grrr. I said stop that. If you two start a fight again, so help me, I'll... Whoa, easy there, you three. What seems to be the problem here? Ah, dear. They're fighting over breakfast again. Seriously? I thought I made enough for everyone. You did. It isn't the quantity that matters. They each want what the other has. Sheesh, aren't they a bit too young for sibling rivalry? They can't even talk yet. They shouldn't be fighting. Tell me about it. Fuyu picks up one of the cubs while I hold on to another in order to separate them. Now, you two listen up. If you don't stop fighting, us mamas aren't gonna feed either one of you. Understand? Despite her tender, loving tone of voice, Fuyu's threat is both real and terrifying. The cub in my hands turns around and looks at me, and I wink. Don't even think about asking her, Abby-chan. You're way too lenient. They'll grow spoiled. You say that, and yet Fuyu spoils them just as much as I do, if not more so. I shake my head and smile. Fuyu smiles as well, giggling to herself as she guesses what's on my mind. No matter how much chaos the Cubs cause, and how much sleepless nights they give us, they are still the pack's beloved children, and ours as well. And I wouldn't trade this life away for anything. Ah! It's so cute, and I love how we actually get an ending. Naso 4? Zetsubo? Also Zetsubo? So is this... I'm pretty sure this is... translated from Japanese, right? Down New... Yeah, it's gotta be, right? King V, thanks for playing. You're welcome. You are 100% welcome. Thank you for creating a good game. Alright, but I do have to click on this little guy, and we're gonna go back here. Hold up. Hungry. You're just hungry? Okay, so we don't need to worry about that one. Hug her by... Before the squirrel can reach for the door. Okay, we stop her by force. That's fine. Her tail wagging observes my expression. I don't think any of those first choices matter. You should take a nap. Okay, a nap. And then Fuyu lays on us. Let me see. Looking at my... Let's just click on this one. Never mind. What about this one? Yes. Alright, we talked about the city, which would probably be on Mirai's, yes, okay, so I think we want to comfort Mirari here. So I think we're gonna do that, since we still got some time left in this episode. So we're gonna go back in time, and we're gonna confront Mirari instead of following Fuyu. Right? Wait. Do we have sex at this point? Once Fuyu has left the cabin, I make my presence known. I walk straight over to Mirari, kneel down in front of her, and bring my face to her level as she sits on the couch and quietly sobs. Habi-chan, how long were you? Long enough. Sorry, I didn't mean to eavesdrop. No, it's nothing you need to apologize for. This is your home. You have a right to hear any conversations which take place within these walls. Mirari straightens her back and looks at me as she talks, but soon enough begins to slouch forward. Even if my presence is a welcome distraction, it isn't enough to make her forget about my worries. So, that fight with you and Fuyu just had... It was not a fight. Mirari speaks forcefully as she shakes her head. We were simply reaffirming one another's positions. That conversation was long overdue. I see. Do your conversations normally end up with Fuyu hitting you? Mirari immediately opens her mouth to deny the claim, but instead finds herself without words. Whether she cares to admit it or not, Mirari's conversation with Fuyu did not end well. So, you saw that. I could have heard it from outside. Why didn't you defend yourself? Having a difference of opinion is one thing, but getting physical is a bit much even for Fuyu. No, you're wrong. Even if Fuyu had left lacerations all over my face, it wouldn't have been anywhere near enough to punish me for what I've done. You mean, for running away from home? If so, then I think this is all rather extreme. Even if Fuyu's mad about you leaving her behind, there's no reason to get physical. Besides, you shouldn't have have to go along with what everyone else expects you to do just because you don't want to let them down. Nobody gets to tell you how to live. You have to make your own life decisions, even if other people don't agree with them. And boy, will they disagree with you. My ears are still ringing from the chilling that I got when I announced that I'd be moving out here. Thank you for your kind words, Abby-chan, but I'm afraid my situation isn't so simple. And of all the people affected by my decision, Fuyu is one person whom I'll never be able to speak about this matter on equal ground. Midori lets out a soft sigh and looks up at my face. Do you remember how I told you about Fuyu being a runt and her family going to great lengths in order to rejoin the pack after raising her on her own? The way I see it, Fuyu's family has already gone through so much because of my parents. They were forced to choose between the pack and their only daughter. They were exiled and then they were made servile upon their return. Despite being treated so poorly, Fuyu's family has abided by the laws of the pack every step of the way. They work harder than any other members of the pack. They're willing to do anything to ensure its survival, and not once have they spoken ill of my parents. And yet, Midori casts her gaze downward once more and begins to grasp at the hem of her dress. Those people who were once exiled have done everything in their power to make our pack what it is today. On the other hand, I, the daughter of the current and previous pack leaders, want nothing more than to leave it all behind. Everything they've been through, everything they've endured, it was all for something I now want to discard. When I think about it like that, I can't even begin to imagine how Fuyu must feel. For someone like me who has been handed everything in life, to willingly throw away everything that she and her family have worked for so hard to protect. If I were in Fuyu's place, a mere slap wouldn't begin to convey my ire. Midori fights back tears as her hands begin to tremble. Despite her resolution to leave the pack, she understands all too well what her departure will mean for those left behind. Ooh. She feels guilty for putting her own happiness first. I see. It's a difficult situation to be in, but I believe it or not, I understand your feelings better than you think. My feelings? No, but Fuyu is the one. Midori stops mid-sentence as I suddenly sit beside her and place my hand over my ear, over hers. Midori, you're a good friend for thinking about Fuyu's feelings to this degree. There are plenty of people in this world who would have just left their friends and family behind without giving it a second thought. In that regard, you've already done right by Fuyu. But you know, even if you're worried about how Fuyu feels, you can't let her happiness trample all over your own. Nothing good will come of you forcing yourself to take over for your parents. You won't be happy, the pack won't be happy, and Fuyu definitely won't be happy. Right now, you're probably thinking that caving into their demands would be the easiest way to make everything turn out okay. See, a few episodes ago, this is exactly what I was talking about. If you guys remember that, this is almost that exact thing. I carried on way longer than I should have, but almost that exact thing was what I was talking about. Like, it's so, you have to find that balance or else it's going to be bad. Right now, you're thinking that if you would just give up on your own dreams and stop being selfish, then everybody would be happy. But you know, reality is never that kind. Midori is silent for a moment, then looks up. You know, when I see you, Abby-chan, a woman living all on her own, I thought about how I could also do that. My situation is really uncommon, honestly, especially for women. But still, it is so. But still, it is so. You're able to live out here and fend for yourself. That must take a remarkable amount of courage. You, Fuyu, my mother, you are all steadfast and resolute. So why can't I be? Why can't I stop being weak? Midori. It was different when it was just my mother and Fuyu who I was comparing myself to, but now with you, I know I have no excuse. This is just how I am. I was simply born weak. No, I can't have her thinking that way, especially when I'm not as strong as she thinks. Midori, do you know why I live out here, all alone in the middle of nowhere, far away from the nearest human settlement? If I recall correctly, you said previously it's because you don't get along well with others. That's the short version of it, yeah, but the truth is it's a bit more complicated than that. See, before I moved out here, I was in a situation similar to yours. Not as far as being a princess and becoming a pack leader are concerned, but in terms of my parents' death and legacy. My parents always wanted me to take over the family business. As their only child, they just naturally assumed that I would follow in their footsteps. They trained me up, made me work for them part-time throughout high school and college, and tried to micromanage every aspect of my life. I'd made it well into my teens without a single shred of enjoyment or free time to myself. My life was lived all according to their whims. But when the time came for me to take over and directed in their will, I finally realized something. What they wanted me to do didn't matter, and they couldn't make me do their bidding anymore. My parents are dead. Anything I do or do not do it doesn't matter to them in the slightest. The only person whose life my decisions will shape is my own, and if I'm going to live my life, I'm going to do it my way. Coming to that conclusion, I sold the family business despite the protests of my relatives, and got the hell out of there as quickly as I could. I moved out here, away from everyone and everything, and despite the hardships of living out here, I can honestly say that I've never been happier. For the first time in my life, I'm free. My decisions are my own, my schedule is my own, and there's no one around to tell me what I can or cannot do. I take a deep breath and finally finish talking. So I actually asked a few episodes ago what happened, why she's out here, but look at that. Okay, so they answered it. Interesting. So the main character's parents owned some sort of business, and I guess we sold it, and that probably is a lot of money. To sell the business like that, even if it's just one shop, one family business, one store, that's still quite a bit of money that you probably gained from that. And it would make sense if you. I can imagine that the main character could probably invest that money while they're just living out here in the middle of nowhere. They could probably make just as much money as they're spending, all things considered. Because think about it, what are they spending on? They're spending on electricity. That's what, like maybe $50, $60 a month. If you use firewood instead of natural furnace heat, you're talking like $50, $60 a month, right, for electricity. Maybe gas money, but she probably only goes to the store. She said she had enough food to go until summer, which means that she might buy, like, if they're all instant noodles, like maybe we're talking like $300 for 6 months, right? Maybe about $600, maybe about $300 to $400 of food in 6 months. You're talking about gas once per freaking blue moon, That's really not that many expenses, and if you pay for a pretty good person to do your, manage your money, like, she could probably live out here for the rest of her life and make money. Without a job, just from selling her business alone. So that, honestly, assuming that she did all those things, which I would probably, they probably don't specify that part, but, it makes sense. Hell, she could do what I said previously and even work, like, 3 months out of the year and make a bunch of money. Though, I probably, depending on how far away the city is, if we're living out in the middle of nowhere, I'm assuming the city is pretty far. So, of course, now that our car is gone, well, it's not gone yet, but talking about myself at length has tired me out, but going by the smile on Merari's lips, it seems to have had the desired effect. That's an amazing story, Abby-chan. I don't quite understand everything you said, but from what I gather, our situations are actually quite similar. And while it may be insensitive of me to say this in light of your family situation, I'm glad to hear that we are alike. Merari leans on my shoulder, resting more and more of her body weight on me as she continues to settle down. Rather than respond to my story verbally or bring up her talk with Fuyu once more, Merari seems content to simply sit beside me, resting on my arm. And for the time being, I'm happy to do the same. I realize that her problems won't vanish after a single talk. Her relationship with Fuyu won't magically become less complicated. And the matter of leading their pack isn't going to resolve itself. But for now, as long as it's just the two of us sitting here side by side, those matters all seem like problems for another day. She is really cute, though, but she definitely reminds me more of myself. Like, honestly, Fuyu is just great. Let's do that skip. This'll get us to the hot springs. Yes, okay. Wait. Hold up. I actually want to go back. I don't know, it might actually have changed. Give me just a second. I'm gonna speed through this real quick. just before we end this episode off, because I actually want to see if Fuyu is still embarrassed. Okay. Not just any cave. Okay. Feels so good. Why? Okay. Oh, I'll strategically hide yourself in modesty. Have my sensitive bits. Okay, we're bathing. Okay. Don't have a tail. No longer caring that she's scrutinizing me. Wow, you girls weren't kidding, right? This place. Nice to hear that something good came of your mischief. Oh no, so okay, so Fuyu is still keeping to herself. Interesting. Well, that's about all the time we have for this episode, so make sure you guys hit that like button down below for me, because you already know your support is greatly appreciated, as well as hitting that subscribe button and leaving a comment. Leaving a comment is very, very important, you guys. I would really appreciate all of the comments. So, without further ado, we'll see you all next time as we try and get Mirari's ending.